Welcome back, coin collectors and history lovers. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of United States Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coins, where ordinary-looking nickels can hide extraordinary value. In this video, we'll explore the top 7 most valuable and ultra-rare Jefferson nickels, uncovering their history, unique features, and why certain dates and conditions can be worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just discovering the power of pocket change, stay tuned, because one of these nickels could change the way you look at 5 cents forever. Let's get started. First up in the 1941 Thomas Jefferson Nickel, 5 cents, occupies a respected and often misunderstood place in United States numismatics. While it is sometimes mistakenly described as a bicentennial issue, the 1941 nickel is not an official commemorative or bicentennial coin. Rather, its importance comes from its position within the early years of the Jefferson-Monticello series and from a handful of scarce, high-grade, and proof examples that command significant premiums. Collectors are drawn to this date because it represents the mature refinement of Felix Schlag's iconic design and because top-condition survivors, especially certified proofs and elite uncirculated pieces, can reach impressive values. Its steady market demand reflects both historical appreciation and the growing challenge of finding truly pristine examples more than 8 decades after it entered circulation. Historical context. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and the 1941 issue was struck at a time when the United States stood on the brink of World War II. Minted primarily in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the 1941 nickels were produced just before wartime pressures would dramatically alter coinage metals in 1942. This places the 1941 issue at the end of the classic copper-nickel era, before the introduction of wartime silver alloy nickels. Although it does not commemorate a specific anniversary on the coin itself, the date is historically significant because it reflects a nation transitioning from peacetime production to a wartime economy, making it an important marker within the broader Jefferson Nickel timeline. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, modeled after an 18th-century bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. The reverse depicts Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, complete with its classical columns and dome, symbolizing Enlightenment ideals and American architecture. Struck in a copper-nickel alloy, the coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighs 5 grams. In high-grade examples, the sharpness of Monticello's steps, known as full steps, is a critical technical feature that significantly enhances desirability and value, setting premium specimens apart from ordinary circulated pieces. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel is not rare. Millions were produced across the 3 mints. However, true rarity emerges in condition. Most examples entered circulation and exhibit wear weak strikes or surface marks. Coins graded mint state with strong luster and minimal contact marks are far scarcer, and those designated with full steps are rarer still. The greatest rarity lies in 1941 proof Jefferson nickels struck at the Philadelphia Mint, produced in limited numbers for collectors. These proofs, especially when well preserved with deep mirrors and minimal spotting, represent the pinnacle of scarcity for the date and drive the highest prices. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel varies dramatically by condition and variety. Circulated examples typically trade for modest sums, often just a few dollars. Uncirculated pieces in lower mint state grades may range from $20 to $75, while higher-grade coins with strong strikes can climb into the low hundreds. Certified full steps examples frequently sell for several $100s, reflecting intense collector competition. The most valuable are 1941 proof nickels, which can range from approximately $1,500 to over $5,000 depending on grade, eye appeal, and preservation. Exceptional proof specimens with deep cameo contrast or flawless surfaces can exceed these figures in major auctions. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel because it combines accessibility with opportunity. While entry-level examples are affordable, the challenge of locating elite condition coins keeps advanced collectors engaged. The coin appeals to series specialists, type collectors seeking a classic Monticello design, and investors who appreciate the stability of established U.S. coinage. Proof issues, in particular, carry a sense of exclusivity and historical continuity, linking modern collectors to the pre-war era of American minting craftsmanship. Collecting tips. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel. Condition should always be the primary focus. Look for strong strikes, original luster, and minimal surface disturbances, especially on the steps of Monticello. Certification by reputable grading services is strongly recommended for high-value pieces, as it protects against counterfeits and overgrading. Proper storage, using inert holders and controlled environments, helps preserve both luster and surfaces. Acquiring examples through established dealers, major auctions, or respected numismatic communities increases confidence and long-term satisfaction. Conclusion. The 1941 Thomas Jefferson Nickel is not valuable because of a commemorative label, but because of its historical timing, refined design, and the scarcity of top-quality survivors. Its worth is rooted in condition rarity, especially in proof and full steps examples, making it a meaningful target for serious collectors. As interest in classic U.S. coinage continues to grow, the finest 1941 Jefferson nickels are well positioned to remain desirable, blending historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and solid long-term collecting value within the broader landscape of American numismatics. That the 1941 issue represents one of the last moments of normalcy in U.S. coinage before global events reshaped minting priorities. Within a year, nickel metal would be redirected toward the war effort, forcing the U.S. Mint to alter the composition of 5-cent coins. As a result, collectors often view the 1941 Jefferson Nickel as part of the final pre-war chapter of traditional nickel coinage. This historical positioning adds intangible value, as the coin reflects both American stability and the impending transformation of the nation's economy, giving it a narrative depth that resonates strongly with historically minded collectors. Special varieties and strike quality. While the standard 1941 Jefferson Nickel is widely available, subtle varieties elevate certain examples into a higher tier of desirability. Differences in strike sharpness, die state, and mint characteristics, particularly between Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco issues, play a crucial role in value. Philadelphia coins often exhibit better strikes, making them more likely candidates for full steps designation, while Denver and San Francisco issues can be noticeably weaker, increasing the rarity of well-struck specimens from those mints. Advanced collectors often pay significant premiums for coins that display crisp lettering, well-defined hair detail on Jefferson, and complete architectural lines on Monticello. Proof coin exclusivity. The 1941 proof Jefferson Nickel stands apart as the true elite of the date. Produced in limited quantities specifically for collectors, these coins were never intended for circulation and were struck with specially prepared dies and polished planchets. Over time, many proofs suffered from improper storage, toning, or surface haze, reducing the population of high-grade survivors. Today, certified proofs with clean fields, sharp devices, and strong eye appeal are genuinely scarce. This scarcity, combined with strong demand from registry-set collectors, ensures that proof examples consistently outperform standard business strikes in the marketplace. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel offers a balance of stability and growth potential. Unlike speculative modern issues, its value is supported by decades of established collector interest and transparent grading standards. High-grade and proof examples have shown steady appreciation over time, particularly as demand for certified coins increases. While it may not deliver rapid gains, the coin's consistent performance and historical grounding make it attractive to collectors who prioritize long-term preservation of value rather than short-term speculation. The 1941 Thomas Jefferson Nickel lies in its layered significance. It is simultaneously a common coin with humble origins and a highly prized collectible in its finest forms. Its design connects America's founding ideals to mid-20th century craftsmanship, while its pre-war context adds historical weight. For collectors, owning a high-quality 1941 Jefferson Nickel is not merely about possession. It is about stewardship of a small but meaningful artifact of American history, one whose worth continues to be defined by rarity, condition, and enduring collector passion. Next up to in the 1971 Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel occupies a fascinating place in modern U.S. numismatics, particularly among collectors who specialize in overlooked yet potentially valuable issues from the late 20th century. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel is often discussed in the context of pre-bicentennial era coins, issues that circulated heavily during a transformative period in American history and minting technology. Its appeal lies not in ordinary circulation strikes, which are common, but in ultra-rare varieties, exceptional high-grade survivors, and proof for error coins that elevate this humble 5-cent piece into a highly desirable collectible. For serious numismatists, the most valuable 1971 Jefferson nickels represent the intersection of rarity, condition, and long-term market demand. The 1938 honors Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. By 1971, the United States Mint was producing vast quantities of coinage to meet the needs of a growing economy, with nickels struck at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. The San Francisco Mint was primarily responsible for proof coinage during this period, reflecting the mint's shift toward collector-focused production. The early 1970s also marked a time of social change and economic pressure in the U.S., with inflation rising and coin collecting gaining renewed popularity as both a hobby and an investment. Coins from this era, especially those preserved in exceptional condition, now serve as historical artifacts of America on the eve of its bicentennial decade. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel features Felix Schlag's iconic left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1971. The reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, with crisp architectural details when struck sharply. Composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the coin weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. What makes the most valuable examples unique is not the standard design itself, but the quality of the strike, surface preservation, and in some cases, striking anomalies. Proof versions from San Francisco often exhibit deep mirrored fields and frosted devices, while rare error coins, such as double dies or off-metal strikes, add a layer of technical intrigue that dramatically increases desirability. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel is not rare due to high mintage numbers, particularly from Philadelphia and Denver. However, rarity emerges when condition and variety are considered. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by major grading services are scarce, as most examples entered circulation and suffered contact marks and wear. Proof 1971 S nickels in flawless PR69 deep cameo condition are also limited, as even minor imperfections can lower a coin's grade. Error varieties, such as double die obverse, clipped planchets, or improperly alloyed planchets, are genuinely rare and highly sought after. In numismatics, scarcity at the top end of the grading scale is often more important than low original mintage, and this principle applies strongly to the most valuable 1971 nickels. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel varies dramatically based on condition and variety. Circulated examples are typically worth only face value, but uncirculated coins graded MS-65 can range from $10 to $30. Truly elite specimens graded MS-67 or higher have realized prices from several $100s to over $1,000 at auction, depending on eye appeal and strike quality. Proof 1971 S nickels in PR69 deep cameo condition often sell in the $200 to $500 range, while rare mint errors can command prices from $1,000 to several $1,000s in competitive bidding environments. These values are driven by collector demand for registry-quality coins, the difficulty of locating pristine examples, and the growing appreciation for modern-era rarities. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel is fueled by several converging factors. First is affordability at entry levels, which encourages collectors to search for top-grade examples. Second is the challenge of assembling high-grade sets, particularly for registry competition, where even a single grade point can significantly affect ranking. Third is the renewed focus on error coins, which has brought attention to overlooked varieties from the 1960s and 1970s. Finally, as earlier classic coins become increasingly expensive, advanced collectors are turning to modern issues like the 1971 nickel as alternative investments with growth potential, especially for certified, population-scarce examples. The 1971 Jefferson nickels should prioritize certified coins graded by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC, as authentication and grading are crucial to preserving market value. When examining raw coins, look for strong strikes, clean fields, and minimal contact marks, especially on Jefferson's cheek and the steps of Monticello. Proof coins should display deep mirror surfaces and strong cameo contrast. Proper storage, in inert holders, away from humidity and temperature fluctuations, is essential to prevent toning or corrosion. Acquiring these coins through established dealers, major auctions, or trusted numismatic communities helps ensure authenticity and fair pricing. The 1971 Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickels demonstrate how a seemingly ordinary modern coin can achieve significant worth under the right conditions. While not a true bicentennial issue, this coin belongs to a pivotal era in U.S. minting history and offers collectors a compelling blend of historical context, aesthetic appeal, and investment potential. Ultra-high-grade examples, pristine proofs, and rare era varieties stand as tangible reminders that rarity is often created by survival and condition rather than age alone. For both new and seasoned numismatists, the 1971 Jefferson Nickel represents an accessible yet rewarding pursuit. One with enduring appeal and the potential for continued appreciation in the evolving coin market that the 1971 Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel has gained renewed attention as collectors increasingly reassess modern-era U.S. coinage. Many enthusiasts now recognize that coins from the late 1960s and early 1970s were rarely preserved with long-term care, making top-condition survivors unexpectedly scarce. This shift in perspective has elevated the 1971 nickel from a common circulation piece to a challenging acquisition in gem condition. As registry set competition intensifies, even minor upgrades in grade can lead to dramatic increases in value, reinforcing the coin's importance within advanced Jefferson nickel collections. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel lies in its era varieties. Double die obverse, particularly those showing noticeable separation in the lettering of Liberty or the date, are highly prized. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, and planchet errors, such as wrong metal or improperly annealed planchets, represent minting mishaps that escaped quality control during a high-production era. These errors are genuine mint anomalies, not post-mint damage, and when authenticated, they can command substantial premiums due to their rarity and visual impact. The 1971 S-proof Jefferson Nickel deserves special attention for its role in high-end collecting. Produced at the San Francisco Mint specifically for collectors, proof coins were struck multiple times using polished dies to create sharp detail and reflective surfaces. The most valuable examples exhibit strong cameo or deep cameo contrast, where Jefferson's portrait and Monticello appear frosted against dark mirrored fields. Achieving PR 69 deep cameo status is exceptionally difficult, and such coins are often tightly held, contributing to sustained demand and steady price appreciation. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel offers relative stability compared to more speculative segments of the coin market. While it may not experience sudden, dramatic spikes, its value growth has been consistent for high-grade and rare varieties. As earlier Jefferson Nickels from the 1940s and 1950s continue to climb in price, collectors often turn to later dates like 1971 as attainable alternatives with upside potential. This gradual reallocation of collector interest supports long-term value retention and reinforces the coin's credibility as a modern collectible asset. The 1971 Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel lies in its transformation from everyday pocket change to a respected numismatic collectible. Its historical placement in a pre-bicentennial America, combined with the challenge of locating pristine or error examples, gives it a distinctive identity within the Jefferson Nickel series. For collectors who appreciate nuance, condition rarity, and the evolving tastes of the market, the 1971 nickel stands as a reminder that true value in numismatics often emerges over time, rewarding patience, knowledge, and a discerning eye. Next up to in the 1990, P. Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin occupies a distinctive place in modern United States numismatics, especially when examined in its highest grades and in connection with rare varieties or exceptional strike quality. While at first glance it appears to be a common circulating coin, advanced collectors recognize that certain examples of the 1990 P nickel can command surprisingly strong premiums. Its appeal lies not in mass scarcity alone, but in condition rarity, precision of strike, and its role as part of the long-running Jefferson Nickel series. For specialists, this coin represents how even modern issues can evolve into highly sought-after collectibles when preserved in elite condition, driving consistent demand in today's market. The 1990 P. Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period of transition in U.S. coinage, when production techniques were improving but large-scale circulation demands still dominated mint priorities. The Jefferson Nickel design, introduced in 1938, had already become one of the most enduring portraits in American coin history by 1990, symbolizing stability and continuity in U.S. currency. Although 1990 was not a commemorative year in the traditional sense, the coin represents the late 20th century phase of the Monticello reverse era, just before heightened collector attention began focusing on modern nickels as legitimate investment pieces. Its place in the series is important because it illustrates how quality, not age alone, defines long-term value. The 1990 P. Nickel features Felix Schlag's iconic left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, emphasizing classical simplicity and presidential dignity. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, rendered with sharp architectural detail when fully struck. Composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the coin weighs 5 grams and measures 21.21 millimeters in diameter, consistent with standard Jefferson nickels. What sets exceptional examples apart is the sharpness of Monticello's steps, the smoothness of Jefferson's cheek and jawline, and the absence of contact marks. Coins displaying full design integrity and strong luster stand out dramatically compared to average circulation strikes. The 1990 P. Nickel is not rare. Millions were produced for everyday commerce. However, true rarity emerges at the top of the grading scale. Coins certified in MS67 and above are genuinely scarce, and those with clearly defined full steps on the reverse are even more elusive. Many coins from this year suffered from weak strikes or heavy bag marks, making pristine survivors uncommon. This condition rarity fuels collector competition, as registry set builders and Jefferson Nickel specialists aggressively pursue the finest known examples. The 1990 P. Jefferson Nickel varies dramatically based on grade and attributes. Circulated examples typically trade at face value, while uncirculated coins in MS65 condition may sell for a modest premium. However, certified MS67 examples can reach into the high hundreds of dollars, and coins with strong full steps designation have realized four-figure prices at auction under competitive bidding. These values are driven by population reports from major grading services, collector demand for top-tier registry coins, and the difficulty of locating examples with exceptional strike quality. The 1990 P because they offer a blend of affordability at entry levels and strong upside potential at the highest grades. Unlike classic coins that may already be priced beyond reach, this issue allows collectors to hunt for quality and upgrade opportunities. The coin's appeal is amplified by its understated nature. Many high-value examples were pulled from ordinary mint sets or rolls, adding an element of discovery that resonates deeply with hobbyists. The 1990 P. Nickel condition is paramount. Collectors should look for coins with strong luster, minimal abrasions, and crisp Monticello details, especially visible steps. Certification by reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC is strongly recommended, as authentication and grading significantly affect market value. Proper storage in inert holders and climate-controlled environments will preserve surfaces and prevent toning or corrosion. Auctions, established dealers, and numismatic shows remain the best sources for acquiring high-grade examples. The 1990 P. Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel demonstrates that modern U.S. coinage can hold substantial numismatic and financial significance when rarity is defined by quality rather than age. Its historical continuity, classic design, and condition-based scarcity combine to create a coin that is both collectible and investment-worthy. For new collectors, it offers an accessible entry into serious numismatics, while experienced enthusiasts appreciate its challenge and long-term potential. The finest 1990 P. Jefferson nickels are well positioned to remain prized assets within the evolving world of coin collecting. The 1990 P. Jefferson Nickel has gained recognition among advanced numismatists as a benchmark issue for studying late 20th century mint quality. Specialists often use this coin to illustrate how mass production, while efficient, frequently compromise strike sharpness, making flawless survivors exceptionally important. As grading standards became more refined in the 1990s and early 2000s, collectors began reassessing coins like the 1990 P. realizing that truly superior examples were far rarer than originally assumed. This reassessment elevated the coin from a routine modern issue into a serious subject of scholarly and market interest. The 1990 P. Jefferson Nickel are limited. Subtle differences in die state, strike pressure, and planchet quality can significantly influence desirability. Coins exhibiting strong central detail, squared rims, and sharply defined lettering are increasingly favored. The full steps designation, in particular, has become a defining value driver, as uninterrupted steps on Monticello indicate exceptional die alignment and striking force. These attributes separate ordinary mint state coins from elite specimens, reinforcing the idea that technical excellence, not novelty, underpins the coin's highest valuations. The 1990 P. Jefferson Nickel offers a relatively stable profile compared to more speculative numismatic assets. High-grade examples have shown steady appreciation rather than sudden spikes, reflecting disciplined collector demand and limited certified populations. Because top-tier coins are tightly held, supply entering the market is sporadic, often resulting in strong prices when examples appear at auction. This pattern appeals to collectors who value long-term preservation of capital combined with gradual growth, positioning the coin as a conservative yet respected modern collectible. The lasting importance of the 1990 P. Monticello Jefferson Nickel lies in how it reshaped perceptions of modern U.S. coinage. It serves as a reminder that numismatic value is not dictated solely by age or commemorative status, but by survival, quality, and collector focus. As future generations continue to build registry sets and study production nuances, this issue is likely to remain a reference point for excellence within the Jefferson Nickel series. Its enduring legacy reinforces its place as one of the most compelling condition-based rarities among late 20th century American coins. Next up to in the 1984, D. Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel occupies a fascinating place in modern U.S. numismatics, not because it was a one-year commemorative issue, but because it represents the growing collector focus on condition rarity and mint-specific excellence within the long-running Jefferson Nickel series. Struck at the Denver Mint and bearing the familiar D Mint mark, this 5-cent coin is today highly sought after in elite uncirculated and superb gem grades, where only a very small fraction of the original production survives. For collectors who specialize in modern nickels, registry set competitors, and investors seeking undervalued U.S. coinage, the finest 1984 D examples command surprising respect and steadily rising market demand. The 1984 D. Jefferson Nickel was minted during a period when the United States Mint was focused on efficiency and large-scale production rather than collector perfection. Part of the classic Monticello reverse era introduced in 1938 to honor Thomas Jefferson, America's third president and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. This coin reflects the continuation of a design that had become deeply embedded in American culture. Produced at the Denver Mint during the early 1980s, a decade marked by inflation recovery and economic transition, the 1984 D. Nickel was intended strictly for circulation, not as a commemorative or proof issue, making top-quality survivors especially elusive today. The 1984 D. Nickel adheres to Felix Schlag's enduring design language. The obverse presents a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson with crisp classical lettering, while the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, rendered with balanced symmetry and architectural clarity. The coin is composed of the standard copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, weighs 5.00 grams, and measures 21.21 millimeters in diameter. What sets exceptional examples apart is not a change in design, but the technical quality. Sharp steps on Monticello, satiny mint luster, and the absence of weak strikes or contact marks, features rarely preserved on Denver Mint nickels of this era. The 1984 D nickels were originally struck. True rarity emerges at the top of the grading scale. Most circulated heavily, and even many uncirculated pieces suffer from weak strikes, dull surfaces, or bag marks. Coins graded MS66 are scarce, while MS67 and full steps FS designations are exceptionally rare and form the cornerstone of the coin's premium value. Additionally, collectors actively seek notable error varieties from this year, including off-center strikes, die clashes, and planchet errors, which further enhance desirability and scarcity when authenticated. The 1984 D nickel typically holds only face value, but the market changes dramatically at higher grades. Certified MS-65 examples commonly trade in the range of $5 to $15, while MS-66 coins can reach $40 to $80 depending on eye appeal. At the elite level, MS-67 specimens, especially those with strong strikes or near full steps, have realized prices between $150 and $400, with exceptional registry quality coins sometimes exceeding these figures at auction. Error varieties can range from $75 to several $100, depending on rarity and visibility. The value trajectory is driven by scarcity, grading competition, and a growing appreciation for high-grade modern U.S. coinage. The appeal of the 1984 Jefferson Nickel lies in its deceptive simplicity. To the casual observer it appears ordinary, yet advanced collectors recognize it as a challenge coin. Difficult to locate in flawless condition and essential for completing top-ranking Jefferson Nickel sets. Its affordability at lower grades makes it accessible to beginners, while its steep value curve at higher grades attracts seasoned numismatists and investors. This dual appeal ensures steady interest and liquidity in the marketplace, as minor differences in grade can mean large swings in value. When examining raw coins, look closely at Monticello's steps, surface luster, and strike sharpness. Proper storage, using inert holders and climate-controlled environments, is essential to preserve condition. Acquiring high-grade pieces through major auctions, trusted dealers, or established numismatic communities is strongly recommended, especially for those targeting MS-66 and above. The 1984 Monticello Jefferson Nickel stands as a compelling example of how modern U.S. coins can achieve significant worth through condition rarity, technical quality, and collector demand rather than age alone and real investment potential. The 1984 Nickel offers an opportunity to own a subtle yet powerful piece of American numismatic history, one whose value and recognition continue to grow with time. The 1984 Jefferson Nickel continues to gain attention is the growing numismatic emphasis on condition rarity, especially within post-1964 U.S. coinage. As collectors become more educated, the realization has set in that high mintage does not equate to high survival in pristine form. Denver-minted nickels from the early 1980s are notorious for soft strikes and surface abrasions caused by bulk handling. As a result, coins that exhibit blazing original luster, sharp lettering, and well-defined architectural details on Monticello represent a minuscule fraction of the original output, elevating their importance and value within serious collections. The 1984 Jefferson Nickel plays a crucial role in competitive registry sets, where collectors vie for the highest-ranked complete series based on certified grades. In these environments, a single-point upgrade, such as replacing an MS-66 with an MS-67 example, can significantly impact rankings. This competitive pressure has driven auction prices higher and reduced the availability of top-tier specimens. As registry participation continues to expand globally, especially among collectors focusing on modern U.S. coinage, the finest 1984 nickels are increasingly viewed as strategic acquisitions rather than optional additions. The 1984 issue is also respected within specialized error coin circles. Authentic mint errors such as broad strikes, off-metal strikes, rotated dies, and dramatic die clashes from this year are scarce and highly collectible. When properly authenticated and graded, these anomalies can command substantial premiums due to their visual appeal and the insight they provide into minting processes. Error examples add an additional layer of collectability to the 1984 nickel, broadening its appeal beyond traditional Jefferson Nickel enthusiasts. The 1984 Jefferson Nickels remain stable and cautiously optimistic. Modern U.S. coins with proven condition rarity have historically shown gradual but consistent appreciation, especially as certification populations stabilize and no new high-grade discoveries enter the market. As older collections are absorbed and fewer pristine examples remain available, demand increasingly outpaces supply. The 1984 nickels as a low-risk, long-horizon holding within diversified numismatic portfolios. The 1984 Monticello Jefferson Nickel lies in its ability to transform an everyday circulating coin into a numismatic standout through preservation and quality. It exemplifies how modern coins can achieve distinction without dramatic design changes or commemorative intent. For collectors who appreciate nuance, discipline, and the pursuit of excellence, this coin represents both a technical challenge and a rewarding achievement, cementing its place as one of the most intriguing condition rarities of the late 20th century Jefferson Nickel series. The 1984 D. Jefferson Nickel also serves as an educational benchmark for collectors learning how grading standards and strike quality influence value in modern coinage. By studying this issue, numismatists gain a clearer understanding of how subtle elements, such as cheek marks on Jefferson's portrait, luster breaks near the rims, or incomplete steps on Monticello, can dramatically affect a coin's grade and desirability. The 1984 D take on increased importance as representatives of a completed chapter in American coinage. Its growing recognition among advanced collectors, combined with limited high-grade availability, ensures continued relevance in auctions and private transactions. What was once an overlooked pocket coin now stands as a quiet testament to rarity through preservation, proving that true numismatic value often lies not in age alone, but in survival against the odds of everyday circulation. Next up in the 1998, D. Monticello Thomas Jefferson 5-cent nickel occupies a fascinating place in modern United States numismatics, not because it was struck as a commemorative issue, but because it represents one of the last full years of the classic Monticello reverse before the dramatic design changes of the early 2000s. For collectors, this coin has grown in importance as a condition rarity piece, with exceptional examples commanding far more attention and value than their modest face value suggests. While millions were minted for circulation, truly pristine specimens from the Denver Mint have become increasingly desirable, especially among registry set builders and Jefferson Nickel specialists. Its appeal lies in the contrast between its everyday origin and the surprisingly strong premiums paid for top-graded examples today. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel was minted at the Denver Mint during a period of economic stability and technological refinement in U.S. coin production. It belongs to the long-running Jefferson Nickel series, first introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. By 1998, the Monticello design had already been in use for 6 decades, making coins from this era part of the late classic Monticello period. Although it does not commemorate a specific anniversary, the 1998 D issue represents the closing years of a historic design tradition, giving it retrospective importance as collectors look back on the final chapter of the original Jefferson Monticello era. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel adheres to the traditional design that collectors know well, yet subtle details distinguish high-quality examples from ordinary circulation strikes. The obverse features Jefferson's left-facing portrait, with crisp hair detail, sharp lettering in God We Trust, and a clear date that is especially important for grading. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, with fine architectural lines, visible steps, and balanced lettering. Struck in a copper-nickel alloy, the coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighs 5 grams. What makes premium 1998 D nickels stand out is strike quality. Well-defined Monticello steps and clean fields free of abrasions elevate the coin from common to genuinely collectible. The 1998 D nickel is not rare. Tens of millions were produced for circulation. However, rarity in modern numismatics often depends on condition rather than quantity, and this is where the 1998 D truly distinguishes itself. Coins that survive in mint state grades of MS67 and above are scarce, and examples with sharply defined steps on Monticello are even harder to find. Many coins suffered from bag marks, weak strikes, or improper storage, dramatically reducing the population of top-tier specimens. As a result, condition rarity has driven collector demand, making the finest known examples highly competitive acquisitions. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel remains worth only face value, but the story changes dramatically at higher grades. Uncirculated examples in MS65 typically sell for a modest premium, often ranging from $5 to $15 depending on eye appeal. However, coins graded MS67 by major certification services can command prices in the $150 to $400 range, while exceptionally sharp, low-population examples may exceed this at auction. If a coin displays unusually strong strike characteristics, particularly well-defined Monticello details, prices can rise further. Market value is driven by certified population data, demand from registry collectors, and the increasing recognition of late-date Jefferson nickels as serious condition rarities. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel lies in its accessibility paired with high-end exclusivity. New collectors can easily obtain an example for minimal cost, while advanced numismatists compete fiercely for the finest known specimens. This dual appeal has helped sustain long-term interest and steady price growth in the upper grades. Registry set competition has been especially influential, as collectors strive to assemble complete Jefferson Nickel sets with the highest possible average grade. In this environment, a single top-graded 1998 D nickel can significantly enhance a collection's prestige and value. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel should focus on condition, strike quality, and certification. Carefully examine the coin for sharp details, minimal contact marks, and attractive luster, as these factors heavily influence grading outcomes. Professional certification by reputable grading services is strongly recommended, as it provides authenticity, market confidence, and easier resale. Proper storage in inert holders or slabs is essential to preserve surface quality and prevent toning or corrosion. When acquiring higher-grade examples, reputable dealers, major auctions, and established numismatic communities offer the safest paths to ownership. The 1998 D. Monticello Thomas Jefferson 5-cent nickel exemplifies how modern U.S. coins can achieve significant value through condition rarity and collector demand rather than low mintage alone. Its historical placement near the end of the classic Monticello design, combined with the scarcity of top-quality survivors, has elevated its status within the Jefferson Nickel series. For collectors and investors alike, this coin offers an appealing balance of historical continuity, aesthetic tradition, and genuine market potential. As appreciation for high-grade modern nickels continues to grow, the 1998 D stands as a compelling reminder that even seemingly ordinary coins can hold extraordinary worth when preserved at the highest levels. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel has benefited from a broader shift in numismatic thinking, where collectors increasingly recognize the importance of late-date issues as long-term investments. As earlier key dates in the Jefferson Nickel series have become financially out of reach for many enthusiasts, attention has shifted toward condition rarities from the 1990s. This trend has placed the 1998 D under a brighter spotlight, particularly as auction data continues to show consistent demand for top-graded examples. Over time, this sustained interest has helped solidify the coin's reputation as one of the more valuable modern Denver-minted nickels when found in exceptional condition. The 1998 D nickel is strike quality, an aspect often underestimated by casual collectors. Many coins from this year exhibit weakly struck details on Monticello, especially around the steps and columns, which immediately limits their grading potential. Coins that display strong, even strikes with crisp architectural lines are significantly scarcer and command noticeable premiums. Advanced collectors often examine multiple examples before finding one worthy of submission for grading, underscoring just how challenging it is to locate a technically superior specimen from this issue. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel. These reports reveal a steep drop-off in surviving examples above MS-66, confirming that truly elite specimens exist in limited numbers. As population figures remain low at the highest levels, competition among collectors intensifies, often driving prices upward during high-profile auctions. This transparency in grading data has transformed the 1998 D from a routine circulation coin into a recognized condition rarity within the modern Jefferson Nickel landscape. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel offers a relatively stable entry point into modern U.S. coinage. While it may not experience dramatic short-term spikes, its long-term outlook remains favorable due to shrinking supplies of top-grade coins and steady collector demand. As more examples are permanently encapsulated in collections and registry sets, fewer remain available on the open market. This gradual reduction in supply, paired with ongoing interest, supports the coin's potential for continued appreciation over the coming decades. The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel serves as an educational bridge between traditional and modern U.S. coinage. It represents the culmination of a design that defined American nickels for generations, making it a meaningful piece for collectors who appreciate continuity in national symbols. For educators, hobbyists, and historians alike, This coin illustrates how even recent issues can gain importance through preservation, study, and market recognition. Its growing prestige reinforces the idea that numismatic value is shaped not only by age, but by quality, demand, and historical context.